I'm your host, Welcome23. You're joining me for Vampire Girl 3, Chapter 12. The next evening, you sit in the library of Pleasure Palace, a place you're surprised to see actually contains more than just books on sex and good bartending. Varys sits next to you as you both read large tomes about ancient fey magic. A tall pile of them sits next to you, the books you're exhausted over all day. Baldar, the keeper, wanders his way through the long hallways of books, collecting more for you to read. You blink your tired eyes as they struggle to read a word from a book. The word doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the text. Hey, Varys, how do I say this one? It's like... chocolate? Alright, that word is chocolate. You've grabbed a cookbook by mistake. You slam the book, embarrassed and frustrated, as you toss it to the side. Okay, I'm clearly exhausted. We've been studying fey incantations since dawn. Take a deep breath, stretching your sore lower back from sitting all day. The smell of dusty books and salt water hits your nostrils. Varys' eyes finally dart away from the tome he's reading, noticing your empty water glass. Would you like some more water? You shake your head no. Varys nods. It's not your fault the fey men you took to the healers didn't make it, you know. Since the funeral, you've been distracted. I'm sure it weighs heavily on you. Varys closes his book and gives you a mournful smile. It's hard living here as a Fae, seeing our people persecuted so publicly without shame. In my time, before the last midnight star fell and I slumbered for a century or more, it wasn't like this. In a sense, this world is as new to me as it is your human friends. I don't know how you've lived in it this long. I don't know either. It's hard to watch, but this is what we fight for, freedom for men like Lars, and every other Fae out there that's hiding in the world. We're trying to make the world a better place, Varys. Well, regardless, you've had a long day of studying. Maybe it's time to rest. The door of the library swings open as Dean enters and struts over to you, taking a swig from his flask. Ah, how was the service for the Fae man? Empty. Nobody here has any respect for the Fae in this world. Dean looks sideways, shrugging. Well, that's not saying it's right, Varys, but that's how it is, and I expect it to be the same for vampires in your world. Varys looks at Dean without an answer to spare. Dean walks close to you. His cologne drifts past on the light breeze from the open door. It's a lovely, sweet scent that reminds you of a passion fruit and lavender. Dean peers over at your stack of books you've read. He grazes each cover, frowning. Why is Aerie wasting her time with such simple spells? She's training to kill Leffy, not to open up a bakery. She needs to learn combat spells. No, she needs to learn the basics, how to control her abilities before using them as a weapon. Is that why you're forcing me to read all these? Forcing? I'm helping you, Midnight Star. Well, I need more advanced books. Dean's right. Time isn't on our side, and I have so much power inside me, I can feel it. It wants to be used. Varys sighs as Dean smiles at him. So, there's no enchantment to make Levy fall apart from an instant heart attack, I suppose? Fey magic is nothing like the barbaric powers of demons. True magic requires delicacy, a mindful awareness of yourself and nature. Whatever you say. Varys looks over at you, shaking his head. Of course, the Prince of Lust would never understand the beauty of magic. It's getting late. This might not be a good time to grab some dinner. Turn in. Start early tomorrow morning. Seems like a perfectly stale set of plans you've crafted for the Princess, Varys. If I may, I'd like to pitch an alternative. Dean scoots close to you, and you can smell the sweet mead and warm whiskey on his breath. Look, Princess, as far as I'm concerned, this is my month with you, and I simply won't allow our month to be filled with such monotonous activities. If the Princess would allow me, I wish to take you out, have some fun. I don't want you to only remember my kingdom for boring studies and war talk. She should be practicing her basics, Dean. Oh, of course. God forbid she take a single night off. Dean hands his flask to you, the scent of sweet honeyed liquor drifting from it. Live a little, breathe. If you're about to risk your life, you should at least take some time to savor the best parts of it. The drink feels like an offer, one of friendship and respect. It's as if he's finally seeing you as his peer. I'll Have a sip. I deserve to enjoy myself to wind down. Drink it down. Dean and I are a team these days. Decline. Take a sip. You take the flask and take a swig. The slight sting of liquor hits your tongue as the stiff drink washes around your mouth. The sting subsides, replaced with a delicious, sweet, almost fruity taste. You hand the flask back to Dean. That's incredible. Only the best potables make my flask lovely. But tonight, you and me. Allow me the night on... one night on the town, so to speak. I promise you I won't disappoint. What do you say? A night with the Prince of Lust. Why not? Sure, let's do it. Dean smiles, delighted. Excellent. Excellent. We should take off now. Baldur returns to the table, slamming down a large handful of books. Here's some more readings for you both, Hedrud and Princess. We'll get to them tomorrow, Baldur. Thank you for your help. Yeah, especially helping, with the cookbook. Baldur bows and quickly leaves. Ferris runs his finger along the spines of the new books, checking the titles. Suddenly, he stops his finger on one of the books. He scrambles on his feet, taking the book. The book is black, the title hard to make out. He breathes a muffled gasp and stuffs it under his arm. What book is that, Ferris? You seem excited about it. Nothing. Don't worry about it. I should get going. Have fun with the Prince, Midnight Star. Ferris quickly shuffles out of the library, the book remaining under his arm. That was weird. Ferris never snaps at me like that. What was that book about? Why didn't he want me to see it? Dean looks over at you, smiling. The warm glow of his grin washes away your worries, though you wonder why Finn hasn't yet returned from hunting with Baron. You ready, Princess? I'm... stuck with you, I guess. More or less, but believe me, there are worse men to be stuck with. Yeah, at least you're nothing like Levy. After several minutes of walking outside of the palace walls, you finally arrive at your destination. Dean escorts you through a grove into a beautiful forest. Giant trees reaching past the clouds surround a clearing of grass and flowers. And these are behemoths of nature, blocking out the stars, making you seem inconsequential in their presence. Dean guides you through towering trees, eventually laying in the soft grass, smelling of mint and honey. The prince rests his hand on the closest tree, caressing the bark. Lovely, aren't they? Honestly, they are beautiful. I've never seen anything like this before. I understand beauty better than most. That is my curse. My palace is beautiful, my people are beautiful. But this place, this forest, I can't describe it. It's beyond words, even for me. It's beyond beauty. It's as though it goes against my very nature. I can't understand it at all, only marvel at it. My father invaded this land. He set fire to the forest and buildings. He burned all in his path until victory was his. Somehow this grove survived. It was when I discovered it I decided to fight and claim this realm as mine. You peer at Dean, confused. What do you mean you had to fight? What was left to fight over? The Seven Realms were not always so. After the invasion, the land had to be divided up. It was not a peaceful effort. I chose the land because of this grove, because of the beauty that remains here. So I fought for this land against my brothers, except for Finn, of course. Why not Finn? Fenris had always been christened Demon. We hadn't questioned his origins at the time, but indeed, he was never our blood. Even over the centuries, we simply forgot. I imagine some great magic was involved. I had more and more memories of that time flooding back each day. Stonehill didn't exist at the time of the conquest. It was part of the Outlands. It was untamed, wild, that's why his realm sits at the edge of our kingdom, and it's the most desolate. Finn is the product of two worlds, meant for neither in his own tragic way. That's precisely why he is the Prince of War rather than the Prince of Wrath. He was never truly one of us, not cursed with our sins or burdened by our tragedies. If Finn isn't cursed with rage... who is? Where's the real prince? An interesting question, I suppose. The brother who would be a Prince of Wrath, and not War, hasn't been born yet. Or perhaps he was, but then met a tragic end before all of us came into existence. Or maybe there isn't one. Perhaps it's our father, the lost prince, and truly the King of Wrath. I believe we're all plagued by these doubts about our lineage, our family, but there are no easy answers. Dean smirks. Lucky bastard. Finn walks free of our sin, while I'm cursed with permanent, insatiable desires. Dean looks down, sighing, and then pushes out a lock of his hair out of his face, giving you a smoldering look. And what did you just see? Why did you just stand here next to me? Why me? I have an obsession with beauty, and the only beautiful thing I can understand less than this forest is you. Dean walks close to you, his build towering over you. You look up, meeting his warm blue gaze. I want to know you, be part of you, experience my world with you. And I don't know how to achieve that, and that frustrates me. I'm cursed to feel your physical attraction, study every curve of your body with envy and passion, but I yearn for so much more, something more intimate, that's beauty beyond words. His hands find your arm, his warmth captures you, his face leans in close. I've only been with you for a few days, but you make me want something better. More than a vapid, vain prince who can't be bothered to leave his artificial paradise. Soft eyes capture you, you study his chiseled, dreamy face. I should... kiss him, it doesn't have to mean anything. Let him down gently. Pull away with disgust. Notice how every single one of these is rejection? That's called the illusion of choice. You lean away, avoiding his kiss with a grimace. Dean, stop. It's not the time. I understand. Worth a shot, though, wasn't it? He steps back, adjusting himself. If it pleases you, I wish to show you another place. I can't imagine anything that could be as beautiful as this. Oh, it likely isn't, but nonetheless, I think you'll appreciate it. Dean extends his elbow out. You take it as he escorts you out of the forest. You leave the forest and find yourselves in a mysterious cave. There are no shortages of these in Inferna, but this one feels especially solemn. Where are we? Dean points deeper into the cave. Inside is excavating equipment and machinery made by Ace, the Prince of Sloth, his inventive brother. I had my servants digging for artifacts for years. A few weeks ago, they uncovered this. You exit the cave into a small, grassy alcove, and both stop at the stone door. Cracked slightly in the center, it's covered in ancient glyphs. This looks like a waystone, though it's Avakari, Fey blood would make it activate. I have no idea what this is, but it's gorgeous, isn't it? It's lovely. Probably an old art piece. But what's more compelling is what lies behind it. You gasp, thinking Dean surely means Avakari, your ancestral home, a secret haven for free Fae, accessible by transportation magic of the stone. But it's clear he means behind, literally. He walks right past the waystone, exits through another cave path into the cool night air. We entered from quite deep in the forest, and yet watch. After a quick duck through some trees, you both walk into the outdoor garden of the Pleasure Palace. Outside of it you haven't seen yet. We're back at the palace you built, so what's surprising about that? I didn't build it. I live in one of the grandest structures, yes, but look closer. In the middle of this end of the courtyard is a massive mirror, framed with a golden decoration. You notice 5 statues, tall and majestic, carved from emerald or green stone. 2 statues are men, 3 are women, all of them holding some kind of creature. I was hoping you could tell me what these are, what all of this is. It was here before I arrived, and I preserved it ever since, only making the slightest renovations for my own comfort. Dean points to an ancient Fey text and symbols carved into the stone tiles and pillars. The statues are of the druids, me, Finn, Metzi, Varys, and someone else, another woman. Maybe it's whoever replaced Orna as the fire druid. Whoever was the fire druid before Orin. Dean smiles and points to the statue of a woman that stands apart from the rest. And that one is yours? I think so. This must be some kind of temple built to honor the wild ones. Run your hand along the glyphs. What does it say? I'm not sure. I don't recognize all ancient characters. But it seems to be the tale of the Primal One, the first of our kind. Varus filled me in on the story, and others have helped me come around to believe it. When the Primal One came to this world, he found it ravaged by the elements, in a state of chaos and pain, so he tamed the elements, taking their powers within him and bringing balance to the world. After doing so, the world was empty, lonely. The Primal One used his powers and created others in his image, the Fae. He told them how to live, how to be happy, and they were. Enough, even though most of them aren't anymore, and still some are. My people are resilient. The Primal One had made a utopia, but over time he felt empty, hollow. As the years went by, he grew more and more lonely. And in his despair, he drew something else to the world. Darkness, a darkness so pure, so infinite, it became an uncontrollable being that ravaged the world. Suddenly you feel a shiver run through your own body. It consumed everything it touched. The entire world was at its mercy, or lack thereof. The Primal One fought the beast as best as he could, but he could no longer trust himself, not even with his own power. He knew he had unleashed this onto the world by creating something. He created nothing. So he relinquished the elements, his true power, and gave each element to a trusted soul. These four chosen Fae become the Wild Ones, the Druids. Pull away from the stones for a second as the story takes a twist you weren't expecting. Wait, only 4 Druids? That means I'm not in the story. Continue reading, filling in the gaps of your ancient Fae vocabulary with the best of your memory of the tale. With his powers gone, the Primal One faded into obscurity, and the Druids defeated the darkness for good. Dean stands still, absorbing the story. You decipher the next set of runes, and something chills you to the core. That's the end of the story, but there's more here. This can't be right. I can't read this. It has to be a lie. You're leaving a part out, aren't you? Is there more of these stones than Varus told you? I'm reading this for the first time. It's right here in front of me. The truth shocks you as you bring your hand to your mouth. It says the darkness is within me. That the being that consumed the worlds, it created the Midnight Star. Within you? How? The Primal One gave up all of his power and became a new form, a Fae. The first ever High Fae. The Primal One is my ancestor. He used the power of his darkness to call Yami into existence. It was the only power he didn't relinquish to the first Druids. The one element he couldn't give them. It's why Yami and I lead the Wild Ones. It's why we're not like the others. I don't want to believe this, but I think it might be true. Dean notices your concern. He walks over to you, holding your shoulder. Look, we have a darkness in us, skeletons in our closet. After all, I was the one who let out Sly's pet and forced us to flee the Black Locust. What? That was you? I needed you to come back to my realm, and this was the only way I knew how. Dean, you idiot. You got my friend hurt and almost got us killed. I knew we'd be okay, Princess, honestly. Whatever. You couldn't know that. Dean shrugs. We should depart. I love this time we spent together, but you need sleep. Before we go, I think we should take a moment to look at this. Dean points to the mirror in the middle of the courtyard. You both approach it, looking at the reflections in the mirror. Most of the relics here are a mystery to me, but this I know. What is it? This is the mirror of Idis. It is said at the height of despair, the Primal One wept. His tears created a mirror. It is the mirror that shows how things may have been if done differently. Dean steps away, leaving you alone to the mirror. What do you see? Stare at the mirror. Suddenly, you're wearing a graduation gown. You hold a diploma, graduating from law school. Ez and Pete stand behind you, smiling, cheering for you. Behind them is your mother, wiping a tear away, so proud she can barely contain it. A tall, mysterious man approaches you. He holds you, his face unrecognizable, and kisses you passionately. It's me, graduating from law school with my friends and a man and I'm in love with. But the path is gone. I can't go back. That's true. What's done is done, and much as we might like to, we can't take that back our decisions. Prince of Lust steps up to the mirror, joining you as your image of a different life vanishes. We should be wary of the mirror, Princess. Not healthy to see what could have been. True, I guess, but... What do you see? Dean stares at the mirror, his face awash in hesitation and fear, but suddenly his nerves seem to settle, and his eyes reflect a longing you've never seen from him. I see myself. He bites his lip, and his next words come out as a hoarse whisper. You. With me, together. I was supposed to have the first month with you, Princess, but I relinquished it to Finn, for your safety. Don't you recall when we first met in High's Castle? The mirror shows what might have been. We're in love, ruling this world together. And yes, it might have been, were I not too busy losing myself in the puddle to chase after you back then. Dean can't take it anymore. He steps away from the mirror, looking down at the tiled ground. Are you okay? It's late. You need your sleep. May I walk you back to the castle? Sure. You take his arm as he escorts you back home. Hey, Dean. Let's go out again. Hey, thank you for tonight. Let's do this again. Dean smiles, nodding his head. You both leave the courtyard carrying more weight than when you arrived. Well, thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Head down description below, links to social media, Discord, and if you'd like to support me and my content, it's very much appreciated if you do so. Also, make sure that if you are or aren't subscribed yet, then 1, you subscribe, 2, you hit that bell icon to receive notifications of when I upload content. And, hey, consider hitting that join button on YouTube. And without further ado, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.